Hello and welcome to Junk Journal January 2025. I am Michelle and this is day 19 with the prompt bubble. So there's a few ways you can go with that prompt. I'm going to go with the idea of creating bubbles on the page, and I have been making my bubbles out of different papers. I have a lot of book pages, and so I've chopped them up into circles. I've got some knitting paper, some music, some map, different dictionaries and word books and things. And then I thought about doing some journaling and then chopping up the journaling into circles so it becomes secret, which I like. I don't want anyone to read my secrets. So a couple of easy ways to make your circles, of course. Good old punches. I just fold the paper up and punch some holes in there like that. And then the other thing I did, which I'll just tuck this out of the way, was to use my dies in my good old Big Shot, which has been around a long time. And I had some circles there. So I've chopped up. One thing I have been using, which I've been loving, I bought it on a sale, and that's a Big Shot magnetic. I made a mess of it. As you can see, I beat up all my stuff, but fantastic to get a magnetic platform of worth keeping your eye out for those on sale. It makes such a difference. And there's my bubbles. So I can use it either way, and then of course this will be a cool background for something else which I might use in 4 or 5 years probably. I'll save it for a long time. Always save my papers forever and a day. I've got all my bubbles. And the other thing I want to make on the page was a windmill. I decided I needed a windmill and I made one, which I love. I made it out of this knitting paper, but then, I brought it to my book and I did decide it was probably a bit big. So I'm making a smaller one, and it's super simple to make a windmill. You just want to make a square. You paid attention in class, which I did not. But fortunately I can catch up. So we're just going to cut a square out of any paper you fancy. This one's quite a thin paper, but it's still going to be fine. And super easy to make a windmill. I'm going to explore a few folded elements in the journal that I'm making. So this will go along with that plan, hopefully. So probably about 2/3 of the way along those lines that you folded. Remember, I've made it into a triangle, and those lines just all go like that. Now we want to get some glue. It's going to be a little fiddly. It is for me anyway, because I'm a bit cloggy. But we're just going to take the same side each time and try to hold it in place. When you're filming, this is always a lot harder than it needs to be. Put a bit more glue in here. And I'm just going to use that to stick it in because my fingers now got too gluey. Do as you're told. Give it a minute, beat it into submission, and then let that dry. So, I've got bubbles, I've got a little windmill. I said it was going to be a super simple page, didn't I? And here it is. So here's my bubble page. I have made a windmill that's already dry, and I have popped a hole, which you can see hopefully, popped a hole just right through there, and I'm going to use a brad. I mean, you could just glue it if you don't have a brad. You could just glue it on the page. I want it to be able to spin a little bit because I'm that weird. I've been hoarding brads for 10 years. Finally got a reason to use one. And I'm just going to pop that through there. I'm going to put it onto a piece of paper. I don't want to put it through my page because hopefully by the time you're watching this, I will have done the previous page and it'll be a stunning, beautiful page. And I won't want to ruin it with a brad coming through. So I'm going to put it on this and then I'm going to glue this to the page. Like so. And then my eyes. So once this is glued, it will mean that we can do a spin, which will be fantastic. Grab my glue. We're really at the end of life of this bottle, but anyway, I'm going to get every last bit out and then I'm going to glue that down. I want that little piece on the back just to be smaller than the actual windmill because I don't want to see it. So we're just going to squish it down. Try and squish it into place. And there's my windmill, which will move. Oh, I like that. I like my windmill. That's great. And now I'm just going to do some bubbles. And I might do some secret journaling ones. Maybe a nice big one here. Big one here. Oh, I like the line through that. This paper's been tea dyed, so it's got that's why there's different lines through it. That's the tea and where it's settled. You always want a bubble close. It might go that way. I'm trying to throw them nonchalantly down as if they are bubbles. That's what we call overthinking. So try not to do that. And then I'm just gonna glue all these down blast. I should have known, shouldn't I, that I would need a new. I don't want to have them straight because I want them to. I like to get every little bit of glue out, so I'm going to use this bottle up till there's nothing left. Which might be a bit closer. Oh no, look, there's another bit. I've been enjoying this glue because of the fact that it has the little lid that it stands up on, and it's just means that it's ready to go. Can't think what I've glued and what I haven't glued now. Wow, this is as interesting as you're there. I can fix any up later, but I am going give them a little push, and we've got our little windmill and our not very random bubbles, but I do feel like we can add, like Michelle, calm down, we can add more bubbles if we really feel that we need them afterwards. And then we can do whatever we like. We can draw on them, we can colour them, we can ink them. I've got this gorgeous favourite pencil, which is the Stabilo All, which many of you will play with, and I love it for the depth it gives. And you just do a nice circle. It is, of course, water. So it will give you that really cool look, hopefully, around your bubbles. We can just create a bit of a shadow around them. So I'm just going to try to be quick so it's not too boring. And we're just going to draw around. If you don't want to do this type of bubbles, another idea for the prompt would be, of course, a speech bubble, like in a comic. You could make your own little comic. You could do people and conversations with your with a speech bubble. I had to do this because my grandson loves bubbles and he dances around the room chasing the bubble, and it is the sweetest thing. I love it. So there's my bubble. If you wanted a little bit of depth, you could put a little depth into the windmill. And then let me just write a little something on here. Don't like that pen at all. That's easy, isn't it? Let's try this one. Chasing bubbles. A perfect day. I do want a little highlight, so I'm just going to see. I'm not sure if I want that. If that's going to be right. Another thing we could use if you wanted a bit of a highlight is, of course, let's see if I've got a white. Yeah. This is a half. This is getting a bit towards the end, but just a little bit of white, just to. Man, then you can't stop, can you? You've got to doodle, 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 bubble. So there's all my secret journaling that you can't read, hidden in the bubbles. And as I said, I told you it was going to be an easy one. Hope it was quick and easy for you too, and you've enjoyed your day. And see you back here tomorrow with day 20 with the next lovely and talented artist. Many, many thanks for joining me. I hope you enjoyed it, and please feel free to tag me in your bubbles. No matter what you do, I'd love to be inspired by you. Many thanks. Bye-bye.